Alright, it's your boy back again with another video. Car video at that. This one is for one of my followers, Rap God Reloaded, I believe is his name. Shout yourself out in the comments, G. This is gonna be about Griff. Okay. Um, in retrospect, Griff has not been a good GM. Now I'm the one to put my head out for Stan Van Gundy. And I'm still gonna stick by Stan. I don't think he was a bad hire, and I still don't think it's a bad hire. But I gotta tell you, you gotta be looking at Stan and Griff right now, thinking, man, we probably should have got somebody else for these guys. You know, you got somewhere in your head, you gotta be thinking, maybe possibly you made the wrong move. But it's still early, it's 10 games. So they could definitely turn this around, pull this around, but goddamn, this don't look good at all. You got a 5-game losing streak right now. And it was one thing when you're losing defensively and it was just like a one-off. But now you're losing because of defense consistently. Well, defensively on some games and then offensively on the others. I'm trying to think back last year. I don't think Gentry lost too many games offensively because the offense was just bad. There was some times when it got stagnant here and there, yeah. But for the most part, his offense was working. We got to see Drew prosper, Lonzo prospered, Zion prospered, JJ prospered, Josh Hart prospered. All the guys seem to work offensively in his system, which is why I want to make sure I give Gentry his flowers. Because for all intents and purposes, yes, he wanted to play his guys that he liked, the Frank Jacksons, the Etwan Moores, the Kenriches. I got that. However, he got the most out of all those guys on offense. I gotta give a man credit. For all his bad substitutions and stuff, which partly is roster construction too. He got the most out of those guys on offense. I gotta tell you, Lonzo, Zion, and B.I. looked differently last year. There was a little bit of magic when they played. Now, he had fuck-ups. Stan, for all intents and purposes, he's got those guys playing some pretty good defense. I got to give him credit. Yeah, they got fuck-ups here and there, and it's clear. But overall, he's got them playing pretty good defense. So let me go ahead and say that. But the team is getting punished and they look lifeless, right? And I don't necessarily see the glimmer of hope. Now, I know I'm talking about the coaches, but here's the thing. These are decisions Griff made. That's strike one. And I know a lot of us want to talk about the draft, but we got to look at the coaching. That's got to be strike one. You're 11 games in, and you're 4-7. You started off 4-2. You're now 4-7. You've lost 5 straight. I gotta tell you, man, this shit ain't looking good. I think, how many did they lose last year straight? 13? You're halfway there. Basically. You're halfway there, basically. And you've lost 5 straight. You gotta lose another one, then you're like, oh, okay, here we go. So, they got to clamp this off. But, that's strike one. Strike two is what everybody cares about the draft. It's easy to go back in retrospect and say, okay, well, you could have had this guy. You could have had this guy. You could have had this guy. And it's true. You could have had these guys. But he didn't pick them. Like I told people, I think Nas the heir apparent to Drew. I don't think he's the heir to Lonzo. But I think he was an injury backup plan in case Lonzo went out and you would slide Drew there and put Nall in Drew's spot, and then you basically got 2 Drews on the court, except Nall's more gifted offensively and Drew is way more gifted defensively. And I think Nall's a better pure shooter, but anyway. So there's that. You got Jackson Hayes, who's supposed to be a project, right? See, here's my thing. when you pick these project guys, that tells me that it's gonna take a little bit of time. Okay, we got Kira Lewis this year. Project guy, gonna take some time. Melly is a 30-year-old plus veteran from Europe, essentially, Italy, if I'm not mistaken. He's not going to be a part of the team long term. So why did you pick him? I don't know. I really don't know, right? So that's confusing. Now, there's a lot of guys who they could have picked up that they let go. Naismith, Pritchard, Sadiq Bey. That's just from this year's draft. Recently, you had Bobo, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish. There's all these different guys. Tyler Hero, Jared Culver, I think Darius Garland. I'm just trying to throw names out there of guys who've been productive on these different teams. And, you could have had a lot of these guys to come in and make a difference, right? My thing is this. If you're going to go get project guys, why not go get the highest quality project guys? DeAndre Hunter is a project guy, but he's ready. He was of all the players in the draft that weren't Zion, he was one of those, he's ready to play immediately. You can still project him, right? So why not go get that guy? Of course you don't get Nall and you don't get Hayes. But you get a forward, right? So now you might be like, okay, we already got B.I., we already got freaking Zion. Why would we go get him? Well, you could have been kinky and said, okay, we'll trade Drew to get maybe like here's a thought. Maybe you trade Drew to New York to get the third pick, and you get RJ. Okay. Or maybe you trade Drew to the Hawks and you get both of their picks instead, plus you keep the fourth. Oh, wait a minute. Check that out, guys. You trade Drew to the Hawks to get 2 picks. And then you could have got Hunter, Cam Reddish, and Bobo. I'm about to piss y'all off. Think about that. I want to tell you, boy, look at this lineup, man. Bobo at center. We'll put DeAndre Hunter at power forward. Matter of fact, no, we'll put him at small forward. Zion at power forward. B.I. at shooting guard. And Lonzo at point guard. Man, I'm telling y'all, that team may not be ready this year, or last year, this year, or the next year. But damn. In 3 years, spacing, shooting, defense, athleticism, and then you could have had Cam Reddish on the bench. Oh, nigga. Phenomenal. With Lonzo, point guard in that team, getting out of transition running. Oh, man. But these are potential scenarios you could have made to get this to happen. Now, granted, Atlanta might say, fuck that, we won't do that deal. Okay, maybe you have to trade Drew and to another team and get somebody else. Fine. Maybe you'd have got someone's first round for this year. You could have got one of these other guys, Tyrese Halliburton or something. Who else is balling? Maybe you could have, made a trade to get James Wiseman this year or something, or maybe go to Cleveland and get some, there's so many different options on the table. Griff, what were you building this team for, bruh? And this goes back to my problem last year. Y'all, you talk a big game. Y'all talk like you want to develop, but then y'all talk like y'all want to win. And it's like, I get it. You can do both. But how are they going to do both with this roster? What does Lonzo need to win? He needs athletic runners, shooters, and rebounders. People who have high motor. Okay. Did you bring in people like that? Jackson Hayes' motor ain't that high. It's inconsistent. No, he can shoot. He may not be athletic, but he does fulfill at least one of the roles that you would need. Obviously Zion fulfills multiple roles from that. That's why he's like one of the perfect fits. Steven Adams, his motor is pretty high. He's humming, but the problem is he doesn't do a lot of the other stuff, but he does do some of the other stuff that you need. So it's like he works too. He's not the perfect fit, but he works. And then you go get Bledsoe. Bledsoe really don't do any of the stuff he want to do. Melly can shoot, I guess, but why get a 30-year-old shooter who can shoot when you go get a young gun who can shoot, who can go run, which is what they want to do. Okay, let's put Lonzo to the side. We kind of went over stuff he needed. B.I. up until this year was mainly just a scoring threat, So what do you need from him? You need someone who can space the floor to get him the ball. You kind of already got Lonzo, okay? But you need someone who, can get that separation and picks and stuff. You got Steven Adams, good. Jackson Hayes can kind of set picks. He's gotten better at it, but he's still not quite there. He's not a passer like Steven Adams is. So the Steven Adams pickup is pretty good. Obviously you got Zion there. Zion can set some pretty hard picks to get him some separation and gets him a lob threat too in the pick and roll. He doesn't space the floor though. Bledsoe, same thing. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is another guard. Offensive guard has a similar skill set to provide threat on the other side of the court, so he can have more space to work with. So that's a pretty good fit. But ultimately, it's not doing enough. Then Zion. What does Zion need? Okay, Zion needs someone to get him the ball. He wants to be able to get out and run. He wants floor spacers, right? Ultimately, again, the recurring theme is you didn't go get the stuff that these guys need. Even if you take Lonzo out, your core is B.I. and Zion. They don't have enough of what they need. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this. Let's swap a little bit with the Pels and the Hawks. Let's take Trey out and put him on the Pelicans. Okay. Does Trae Young do any better on the Pelicans than Lonzo Ball? Trae Young has range to shoot. He's a much better shooter than Lonzo in terms of where he can make his shots. Okay? So in that vein, he probably helps the Pelicans immensely. He's a good passer like Lonzo. He don't have the long-range threat of passing like Zoe, but he's got the half-court passing and the playmaking ability in the pick and roll. Got it. But let's say if you take Trae off the ball, have him play off ball. You're getting rid of part of his game. Now, does he help B.I. and Zion to some degree? Absolutely. But you're also neutering his ability to play. Now, let's put Lonzo on the current Hawks. Granted, Bogdanovich is out. He's hurt. Okay, but let's just assume he's not hurt. You got Bogdanovich, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, and Clint Capella. I had a question. Does that team get better or worse? You may say, Lonzo can't shoot with the range that Trae Young has, blah, blah, blah. But can he pass? You damn sure he can pass. Can he get into the pick and roll and make plays out the pick and roll? Yeah. Can he read and make the right offense play? Absolutely. I think Lonzo Ball would have that team humming. Matter of fact, I think he would have Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter looking like all-stars. And I think Lonzo could go get 16, 9, and 8 on that team, and he would be very well respected. That team would be built for him. Now, let's do this. Let's put Lonzo back on the Pels and put Trae Young back over there. Let's take DeAndre Hunter off of that team and put B.I. I think both teams actually get better. Truth be told, um, I would play even with Steven Adams. I would probably put Zion at the center or DeAndre Hunter because I'm trying to think of how tall DeAndre Hunter is. I think Hunter's tall. I might play Hunter at center. I might play a little bit of small ball, but I'd play those two, and then I'll play Lonzo, Josh Hart, and Nah. And bam, you got shooters and spaces all over the floor. I think they actually play pretty well together. I think they would get better. Obviously, they would be better in Atlanta because of it. Okay, you know, ultimately here, and the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to get you guys to understand something. Atlanta is built so well that you could take pretty much any Pale starter and put them on that team and they'd still be good. Let's put Zion over there. Zion and Trae Young. Cam Reddish. He already knows how to play with Cam Reddish. DeAndre Hunter. You may say, okay, we'll click Capella, blah, blah, blah. Look, I get it. But you could also play the small ball thing over there and just run Zion at center. And now you got DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Bogdanovich, and Trae Young. Oh, my God. Ooh! You know what's so funny? That could have been the team that the Pels had. That could have been the team that the Pels had. Let's go through the list. They got Hunter. That was the number 4 pick. They could have probably traded Drew and said, okay, give us Cam Reddish pick. Now you got Cam Reddish. Now, they may not have had Bogdanovich. They may not have had Clint Capella. Fine. But hear me out. Let's just take those two, DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish. Long, athletic, forwards, wings, who can defend and can shoot the ball. You can play Zion at 5. And even if Zion is going to have issues on defense with the 5s or guarding 5s, you may be giving that up to some degree. You may have to have help defense, yada, 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 and I get that. Lonzo, B.I., Cam Reddish, Hunter, and Zion. I'm telling you, I would put money. I'd say go let them boys run and play. Let them boys run and play. They'll figure it out. I would let them fucking play. There's a clear way that team works. I'm telling you, think B.I. with DeAndre Hunter, who can knock down threes, of Cam Reddish and Lonzo, and he's got Zion. You think they're not going to win games? Okay, just looking at this year, what team so far would they have struggled with to beat? They played Toronto twice. Toronto ain't that damn big. They would have stopped them with this team. OKC ain't that big. They would have stopped OKC. Let's see who else. The Pacers, they only had Miles Turner. They would have been just fine. They put him and Sabonis in foul trouble, which is Zion alone. Come on, man. Look, guess what? They lost to 2 of those teams already. Miami, they could have played them straight up and beat Miami. Look at this. We didn't even talk about the Bowl possibility, too. Because they still could have got Bowl. We ain't going to get into that today. Griff, there's no reason this roster should suck or they should struggle like this. Bruh, this is a phenomenal team of pieces, and you just basically gave all this shit away for what? What the fuck are they going to be doing in the next couple years? You're going to get rid of Lonzo, you're going to have Kira come up and replace Lonzo. Okay, let me tell y'all this. If Lonzo leaves this team, and Lonzo goes somewhere ball, no pun intended. If Lonzo leaves this team and goes somewhere ball out, Kira and No better be better. If Lonzo leaves this team and he's somewhere, he's averaging 16, 9, and 8. Kira and No better be better because now you got to explain why the fuck you let Lonzo go. Why is Lonzo better on another team when you had him than when he was here? And why do you have other guys here that can't be better than him? You let this guy go? At least with AD, we got B.I. We got Josh Hart. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Josh Hart for a second. Let me tell y'all something. Let's just say they didn't get Zion. Let's just say they still, everything else happened. They got Steven Adams, yeah. But let's just say they got Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, and B.I. Alonso, right? Do you really need Josh Hart? Do you need J.J. Redick, who ain't shooting worth the damn? Think about this, because you went and got J.J. Redick. You already had all this extra shooting. Do you need J.J. Redick from last year? No. That's some money that you got saved aside. You could afford to pay Alonso more. You're not crippled because you just paid Steven Adams. Like, you could go get better bench players. You could have, you could make other trades to take on some maybe worse contracts for some decent players to get some more size and athleticism and experience down there. You get some vets that way. Like, you can manipulate the cap and things like Griff. This ain't that hard, bruh. This ain't that hard. I know we're sitting here playing GM, a year after the fact, and I get that. But what I wanted them to do, and I'm going to say this again, I wanted them to take Hunter or Cam Reddish. Personally, I would have took Cam Reddish. I was higher on Cam Reddish. I wanted Cam Reddish. I'm like, yes, you go get Cam Reddish. If it was up to me, you go get Cam. If you can't get Hunter, that's fine. You develop this year anyway. You get rid of Drew, you trade Drew to go get your other part that you need, or your bench, and you roll with it. That's what Drew would have been for me. Drew would have been like, okay, what team has the best support pieces that they're not using for what we need weaknesses at? Okay, what you want? People would look at that trade like, you might be like, okay, well, you lost that trade because you got rid of Drew, you got back this and this. I'm like, we're filling out our bench. These are our core guys. This is the bench. They're going to be fine. We're going to get the picks. We really don't need the picks like that, but we can make use of the picks going forward in the future. The main thing is right now, we got the core group guys established: Lonzo, Cam, B.I., Zion, and Favors at that time, or whoever. And then, okay, now we got, because the Pels had, I'm trying to think. No, they didn't have any other picks. But them moving back to go get, them moving that number 4 pick back was beautiful. It was a beautiful play, but they just chose the wrong players. So even if they didn't get DeAndre Hunter and they just only got Cam Reddish, and say, like, even if you want to say, okay, they got Cam Reddish and Jackson Hayes, still works. Or if you say, okay, we go get Cam Reddish and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then maybe we move up and go get another piece. Like, all that stuff still works. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things available to them that they could have done. Like, I wasn't mad that they moved the number 4, basically gave them Hunter. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was the fact that you had all these shooters. Like, you don't have a clear goal. You go get, I get Hayes and I get now development. Got that. Cool. And I didn't think the now pickup was necessarily bad. I just think they could have got Bobo. Like, to me, if you're going to go take Jackson Hayes and develop him, why not go get Bobo, who has the higher ceiling? You might say, oh, he's injured. He could be injury prone. Look, I got that. But you're not getting players anyway. Take the risk to get the better ceiling. Work on the better ceiling. Even if they redshirted him and didn't play Bobo all last year, Bobo could have came in this year and made a huge difference for this team. You wouldn't have needed to pay Steven Adams. He may not be the defensive stalwart that he is, but you could have got a lesser center and played and split the minutes with Bobo. Right? And instead you might be like, oh, well, Bobo defensively is terrible, but offensively, the guy's sitting there space of the 4. He's giving you mid-range. He's hitting all over the court. He's like a compliment on the bench. Like, you could go rest B.I. and Zion and put Bobo in and have Lonzo play off the bench with him and get him easy shots, pick and roll, pick and pop, Think about it. You got to go space the floor now. Your center has to guard Bo at the 3-point line, where Lonzo, with a full head of steam in that first quick step, gets to go to the basket. How many easy shots is Lonzo going to get during the game? Y'all are talking about now, oh, Lonzo's efficiency and all this other shit. Well, he's able to finish at the rim right now. He's making half of his lays. He couldn't do that last year. He's making half of his fucking lays right now. Think of what he could do. And this is on people. He's finishing on people at the rim with lays. Improvement. What would he do if he didn't have the big there? He could just attack the rim or dunk it with nobody there. Like, the team has to have a pathway. How are you going to play? You already got Lonzo. How does Bobo fit in with Lonzo? How does DeAndre fit in with, all these guys fit in with them. I know I'm harping on Atlanta and their roster construction because I like Atlanta's roster construction. I think they did a phenomenal job. But this is my point. Griff, what are you doing? Are we going to rebuild and rebuild longer? Or are we going to go push to attack and get these guys into the playoffs? If you're going to get these guys into the playoffs, go get pieces that look good, play them well, and trade them for the other stuff that you need. Even if you don't want to keep Hunter, Cam, or Bobo, there are other players out there, there are other teams out there that would be like, Bobo's out there available? Okay, what you want? Maybe you could have traded him to Sacramento and got Bogdanovich. Oh, now y'all like, damn, I didn't even think of something like that. See, this is how my mind works. I'm looking at options. I told y'all I like versatility. So what I'm giving you guys is like, there's all different kinds of scenarios. Cam Reddish, okay. Cam Reddish could be a 3. You might keep him on the team, but let's just say you're like, you know what, we might want to get off of Cam Reddish. I know this guy's hurt right now, but Jonathan Isaac might be someone that Orlando wouldn't mind getting off of, and they might take Cam Reddish to space the floor. Jonathan Isaac is long, he's tall, he's good, he can do a whole bunch of things. Granted, he's hurt, I get it. But it's okay. You got options, you got versatility. You can't tell me Orlando is not going to sit back and think like, damn, Jonathan Isaac just got hurt, but Cam Reddish is probably putting up 20 points a game right now. He's consistent. We might need to make that move. We already got Mo Bamba. Even that, we could take Mo Bamba. I've actually said they should try to go get Mo Bamba. Griffin's done a horrible job, y'all. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I know it's a long video. He's done a horrible job. I'm using this stuff to try to give y'all these different things. The coaching thing is still subject to be determined. We can't just necessarily say it right now because it's only been 10 games and they got to get used to it. 15 to 20 games, 21 games or so. Get used to it, yada, yada, yada. And then we'll start to measure them after that. Cool. So we can't necessarily say just right now, but it don't look good. But I got to tell y'all, man, this team has so much more potential. Well, Lonzo, B.I., and Zion had potential to be so much more because of what you could have put around them. Like DeAndre Hunter, Bobo, Culver, Naz Reid, like all these different guys. Naz Reid is in Minnesota with Cat and with Culver actually too. Darius Garland, which you might be like, oh, well, he's just, another guard. Why do you need another guard? I'm just giving you guys different guys. Tyler Hero. All these guys were available. Griff, you ain't been shit. Like, let me say this real quick and I'm going to get off here. Griff don't need credit for Cleveland. LeBron need credit for Cleveland. All LeBron just said was, hey, look, I already made the call. These are the guys. Here, go make these plays. Done. You can't get that credit now. And you was talking all that shit about LeBron. Shit. I give him credit for the move, for moving down from 4 to get 8 and 10. Phenomenal move. I give them credit for getting Steven Adams. I even give them credit for the Drew Holiday move, for the picks. Believe it or not, that's not actually a bad move. It could be better, but it's not a bad move. So I will give him credit for that. But overall, It's your boy. Y'all have a good one. Hey, Rap Guy Reloaded. I hope you appreciate this video, man. If y'all ever want me to make a video, just make a request, comment. Hey, will you do this? But I'll catch y'all later. Peace.